Well, good morning. Augie and I are up and at 'em this morning, but it occurred to me this morning as I woke up at my normal time, my first instinct was to jump up and get at it and go to work, go hike, go fish, go fish. And I just decided, this is about the experience, doing something that I'd never done before, hiking back into Alpine Lakes, doing some fishing, spending the night. Just gonna learn to enjoy the experience and stop making everything a job. It's not a job, it's living. And so I'm gonna live it. All right, we're making the ascent. Oh, the trail's nice after you get off the washed out road. This one's going to the lake, the first lake I wanted to visit this weekend. I think I have to backtrack to get to the other one, or there's probably a trail from the bigger lake to the smaller one, but. Well, we made it to the first lake, just a little alpine lake. It was only, I guess, 1.2 miles back in here to this first lake. This is where we're gonna camp. There's one camp spot. There's some people in it right now, but they told me they could have it, or that I could have it in a couple hours when they get out of here, which is fine because I'm just gonna stay here and fish this lake for a little while. Then I'm gonna set up camp. All right. Well, I brought some stuff this weekend, things I've never used, and panther martins is one of the things I've never used. I don't like rooster tails, never caught anything on rooster tails. I'm gonna use these, and I got some other things that I'm gonna use this weekend. Gonna try them out. Everybody always says they're trusty little panther martins. I'm gonna see how it works. Well, they definitely have their own feel. Oh, got one. Let's see what it is. Got one. Second cast. A little fish. Look at that. Let's see what it is. Ah, little brook trout. There is no size limit on brook trout here. I'm excited. I can keep 5 fish a day. I'm gonna keep this one for sure. Well, Augie had to eat. He was starting to whine. I knew he wasn't thirsty. Had a hit. Little tiny thing though. There's a big rock out there underneath the water. Got one. There we go. Feels like better than the first one I got. But pretty close to the same thing. Really nice. Really nice brookie. Look at that. There we go. That's what we're talking about. Ah! Woo! These guys are stunning. Got another hit. A little tiny one under those rocks. Got another one, little tiny one. Probably gonna let this one go if it's not hooked too bad. Yeah, he's tiny. Oh, shit. Well, that one's a little bigger than the first one. Very pretty. Looks like that's the winner for the day so far. Got two of them on that yellow and red, and I always forget what they're called because I've never used them before. Oh, we got one. There we go. There's our fourth fish of the day. There we go. Another good one. That's number 4.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Got my last fish. All right. Dinner's about done.
There we go. We got 5. That's dinner. And a successful trip. No skunk. All right, I'm gonna show you how I eviscerate these fish. I have several ways I do it, but the most common way I do it is I just start at the anus. Here's a pet peeve of mine when I watch people on YouTube. Bring a knife that's made for the job, not this knife. One of these or a small blade, and sharpen your blades. Make sure they're sharp. So once I go all the way up inside, go all the way up to the point of the gill plate, I cut the back of the head right through the spine. Put my knife down, pull that, all the stuff inside comes out. Feed that to the crawfish. It's the cycle of nature. Crawfish will eat it. Now on the inside, there's a bloodline, that's their kidney. Sometimes you gotta score it. If they're real fresh, sometimes you gotta score it. That comes out, rinse them off in the water. Fish is clean. That's how simple it is. All right, we're gonna make some fish tacos. I've got some onion, I've got some coleslaw, I've got 5 fish, I got grated cheese, and I've got tortillas. So I'm gonna cut this onion up. It's good to work with a sharp knife. Now, that's not the same knife that I gutted the fish with. That's my bigger one. You could use this if you want, but I always bring both of my fillet knives with me because they're always sharp, and I just like the blades. So we're gonna cut up this onion, just probably half of it, because we're going to caramelize them, maybe. And if you're backpacking, these little silicone mats, cutting mats, they don't weigh anything, and they'll fit anywhere in your pack. I just put mine along the side in the back. And bring it in. I've got 3 different sizes, but I only brought the medium size one. Oh, looks like we got a little mayfly. So we're gonna caramelize these onions, get that working, and then we'll set those to the side, fry our fish. I'm gonna get rid of that. You know what? I'm gonna cut up that other half of onion and put it in there just because I can. Tortillas are big. All right, so I've got this. That was most of that whole onion. Some of it wasn't good, so I cut it off. So this is about as much caramelization as I'm gonna get. So I'm gonna take this out of the pan, and then I'm gonna fry my fish. All right, so I'm gonna add a little, this is beef tallow, instead of packing in butter. This doesn't get as soft in a hurry as butter does. I just put it in a little plastic container. I'm just gonna put a little beef tallow in there and let it melt down. You don't need a lot. So this frying pan is a stainless steel Emerald Lagasse frying pan out of a set that we had at home before we switched to cast iron. Cast iron's way too heavy to pack in. So this is the middle size saute pan. It's not ideal for backpacking. It's heavy. It's probably 2.5, maybe 3 pounds. I didn't weigh it. But I only had to come in a mile and a half. So usually when I fry trout or smelt or any other fish, I leave the heads on so I can tell when they're done. When the eyes turn white, then when the eyes turn white, they're done. But I didn't do that here. These are pretty fresh, they're puffing up, so. But we're gonna cook them until all the bones come out. Mix them with the onions, fix up our tortillas, and have a meal. All right, I'm gonna try something I saw somebody else do with the cheese. See if this works. And I use real grated cheese, not that store-bought crap. This is Tillamook, good Tillamook cheese that I grated at the house for when I was making burritos. Seeing how this is gonna work. I don't know if I like that at all, but we'll see. All right, now we're gonna add our fish and our onions. And see how this tastes. Don't want bones in there. Should have let it cook a little bit longer. The fish didn't fall apart like it normally does. Now, I picked up a little bit of this coleslaw at Safeway. I prefer the slaw that's in Taco Time's fish tacos, but we'll try this. See how it works. That might be a little overpowering for that. There we go. 2 giant fish tacos. There we go. All right. I've been thinking about this for 2 days and never done it. I've watched a lot of YouTube fisher people make these, and for some reason it just sounds right. So here we go. We got caramelized onions, some coleslaw from a grocery store, melted cheese on the tortilla, and 2.5 brook trout per taco. I'm not a light eater, and these tortillas are carb balanced tortillas, so basically there's no carbs in them.
Forgot salt. Need salt. So I'm gonna add some salt. It's not that crappy iodized salt. That's Celtic sea salt. Yep, that Celtic sea salt, that's what it took. It's pretty good. Even with just the generic store-bought coleslaw, maybe find a tweak for that. The melted cheese on there, I thought cheese would be too strong for the fish, but it's good. I would do it again. In fact, that's our summer gig, is hiking to Alpine Lakes and making fish tacos. Maybe we'll make something else with them next time, but everybody does these and kind of like them. The only thing I think it really needs is an avocado, and I forgot to stop and get an avocado. There's more fish jumping out there in the lake. I know. But I'm hungry. All I've had is 2 meat sticks today and 2 cups of coffee. And we've done a lot of hiking and fishing, so this is good. This is a good end of the day. It's 8 o'clock in the evening. That must be west, because that's where the sun's setting. I've already fell once, almost fell again. And this is really good lighting for this lake. I think that I can lay in my tent and glass that saddle and that side hill in the morning. Good morning. This is day 2. This is the next morning of Augie and I's adventure this weekend. Fishing some Alpine Lakes. I don't know if they're Alpine Lakes, but they're high mountain lakes in the Cascades. So, but I'm going to show you the view from my bed this morning. Here's the view from my bed. Little mist coming off the lake. Beautiful Cascade Mountains that I'm in the middle of. That's living. This is the way we were created to live, just like this.